Hey, Bubba. Hello, Tiffany. Well, I'm getting ready to start practice here, just like every Sunday afternoon and Monday evening. I'm not quite sure when, possibly next week. I'm not really sure, but on my Monday class, I'm hoping to move it back to in person at Endure LV. I really miss those people. That's a great community. So just want to let you all know that maybe next Monday, but I don't know. Tomorrow I'll be on here again. And so with that being said, trauma recovery yoga is about, well, I honestly believe that all studios should gear their beginners yoga classes more like what we do in trauma recovery yoga. I think it's much more friendly. I think it's much more true to the roots of yoga, and it's really what I believe yoga is all about. It's about choice. It's about self-regulation, and it's about moving from outward to inward, even if it's just for a minute or two. The whole physical practice is there to help work off some stuff. And in trauma recovery yoga, we use it to reconnect the mind and the body because it's so easy after experiencing a traumatic event for your mind and your body to become disassociated. And so we use that yogic practice of asana, which is the physical portion of practice of yoga, what most people think of, all of those fancy poses and all of that stuff. We don't go in for fancy poses. We go through deliberate movements to take in that we're using to link the mind and the body back together, getting us back working in sync within ourselves. And the self-regulation is an integral part of yoga that is so often just overlooked and it's passed by because we want to perfect this pose. Well, they call, and I say it all the time, that I say that for me, I've kind of got obsessed with this idea that I don't believe I'm a yogi. I'm an old guy that found a little bit of peace through yoga after a horrible event in my life. And I want to help other people maybe discover it for themselves, because it's not something that I teach, it's something that I share. So we practice. There's no perfection in yoga. There's no perfecting yourself or perfecting this move or perfecting that move. That is not what yoga is to me. So with that being said, let's stumble through a practice today. And I worked hard, was going to remember who that quote was from, but it popped up from Ram Dass's page today, that by your stumbling, the world is perfected. And I guess that, like a lot of those things, it's meant to be something that you think about. And for me, thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it all day long, is, our best intentions, we don't know how they're going to turn out. Then all of a sudden something happens and we do something and wow, things are better because of that. Kind of like when I first stumbled into a yoga practice at the old 705 Community Theater 3 years ago. It changed the world for me. So with that being said, we're going to begin our practice. Remember, everything I do is just a suggestion. If you choose to do nothing but sit on your mat and breathe, you're doing yoga. And in reality, if you choose to sit in your easy chair in your front room, sipping a beer while listening to me and breathing and letting your focus come inward, you're doing yoga too. Yoga is not about the physicality. The physicality is an end to the means, or means to the end, or whatever. The end is about quieting the chatter and reconnecting the mind and the body and developing some resiliency. So with that being said, we're going to come into an easy seated position, and we're going to take and move into the three basic pieces of self-regulation. The first piece of self-regulation is grounding. And that really is literally feeling the ground through your sit bones, through the sides of your feet, or literally putting your hand on the ground, looking at that where your hand is contacting the ground, feeling that support provided by the ground, and then maybe realizing that that support, that stability is always there. All you have to do is notice it. It's always there. Even during the earthquake the other night, that stability was there if you just noticed. The next piece is centering, the beginning of the process of trying to bring the focus from out here to in here. And how do we do that? Well, the way we do it in this practice is we lift the pelvic floor as if trying to restrict the flow of urine. And is this your first time here? It's okay to giggle when I say that, but that's literally the best way to describe it. Lifting up that pelvic floor as if you're trying to stop the flow of urine. And then pulling the belly button, consciously pulling the belly button into the spine and feeling the heat begin to build in your belly. And maybe you'll begin to notice that that's what you're focusing on now. Your awareness is moving inwards from outside. And also you're stoking that internal furnace that we'll use during our practice to burn up any crap that's no longer serving us. The next piece and final piece of our self-regulation practice is the breath. Literally just noticing the breath. Feeling the air flowing in. Feeling the air flowing out. Thinking, I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. Feeling that air flow up through your sinuses, down your throat, and into your lungs. And then feeling it flowing back out. And then seizing on that awareness that you can't focus, you can't breathe in the future, you can't breathe in the past. You can only breathe in the present. And that's what we're trying to do by focusing on the breath, is finding ourselves in the present, right here, right now. Moving forward, we're going to take and go into a 3-part yogic breathing or belly breathing, whatever you want to call it. So basically, we're going to release holding that belly button in, and we're going to begin to breathe in. We're going to fill the belly first, expand the belly, big belly, feeling that air flowing down in. And as that air fills up the belly, it moves up into the lungs, causing the ribs to separate and the shoulders to lift. And finally, that last little sip of breath goes in and makes the eyes cool and sparkle. And then we exhale, the chin comes down, the shoulders soften as the ribs come back together, and finally the belly comes in. Inhale, big belly. Shoulders lift, eyes cool and sparkle. Exhale, the chin comes down, shoulders soften, belly comes in. Inhale, big belly. Shoulders lift, eyes cool and sparkle. Exhale, the chin comes down, Shoulders soften. The belly button comes in. Now we're just going to allow the breath to fall into its own natural rhythm, not forcing it, not controlling it, but noticing it, feeling ourselves breathing in and breathing out. Staying aware of that breath as we begin to move through the physical part of our practice, which, as I talked about before, we're going to link the mind and the body together through the breath. So on our next inhale, I want you to bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Not your shoulder to your ear, but your ear to your shoulder. Feeling that shoulder blade stay plugged in and the neck begin to stretch out across the left side. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in. And then as we breathe out, allowing the chin to roll down towards the chest. Before linking with the next inhale, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, focusing on bringing the ear to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. And continuing to notice that breath flowing in and flowing out. Flowing in and then flowing out as we allow the chin to come down towards the chest. And getting ready, preparing to move into a series of neck rolls where we will keep the breath and the movement linked together. So we're going to inhale, right ear to right shoulder and back. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder and down. Inhale to the right and back. Exhale to the left and down. Inhaling as we extend. Exhaling as we contract. Inhaling as we extend. Exhaling as we contract. And one more time around, inhaling to the right and back. Exhaling to the left and down, and then allowing that chin to hang heavily towards the chest before reversing that rotation and inhaling to the left and back. Exhaling to the right and down. Inhaling to the left and back. Exhaling to the right and down. Inhaling as we extend. Exhaling as we contract. And one more time, inhaling to the right and back. Exhaling to the left as we contract. And then we're going to take and bring the right hand up to the side, palm forward, shoulder blade still plugged in, elbow roughly at a 90-degree angle before shifting the gaze and the palm towards each other. Blinking the eyes, wiggling the fingers, seeing those fingers move, allowing the light to begin to flow in and stimulate that happy center in the brain. Shifting the gaze over to the left, we bring the left hand into contact with the mat, feeling that ground, seeing our hand walk slowly away, shifting the gaze back forward, reaching that right hand up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling as we come over the top, extending and stretching out the right side as we begin to loosen up that spine. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring the hands down to the knees. Now we're going to do the other side, bringing the left hand up, turning the palm and the gaze towards each other, wiggling the fingers, blinking the eyes, allowing the light to flow in, shifting the gaze down to the right, placing the right hand on the ground, feeling that support, walking it slowly away, shifting the gaze back forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come over the top. Feeling again that stretch on the left side, compression on the left, extension on the left, compression on the right, feeling your spine begin to loosen up and begin to release some of that tension. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the knees. Now we're going to inhale and we're going to bring the hands up overhead, interlacing the 3 back fingers, keeping the index fingers pointed up like the pointer on a clock. We're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, continuing to put some flexibility into that spine, leaning over, 1, 2 numbers on our personal clock. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down a little bit more. Before inhaling, coming back up to center. Exhale, come down 1, 2 numbers on the other side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come down a little bit more. Inhale, come up. Shifting the gaze up to that cup formed in your hands. I want you to inhale and reach up, before releasing your hands and exhaling, shifting your gaze forward, separating the hands, beginning to feel the weight of the world lift from your shoulders. Inhale, we're going to take and bring the left hand to the right knee. Scratch your nose if you need to. Allergies are kicking my butt, but we're going to take and bring that right hand behind the right hip. Inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, not using your arms, just twisting at the base of your rib cage with your torso. Shift your heart pointing out to the right. Inhale, sit up straight. Shift the gaze back over that right shoulder. And this time, using that front arm, pull yourself around just a little bit more, twisting and stretching out those tendons that run up and down your back. Then inhale, release back to center. Bringing the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip, sitting up straight. I wonder who the heck is calling me at this time during this. I apologize for that, but we're just going to keep practicing. Inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, twist, shining your heart out to the left. Inhale, sit up straight. Shift the gaze back over that back shoulder. And pull yourself around again, stretching out a little bit more of that back. Inhale, come back to center. Feel that breath flowing in and flowing out. We're going to move now into tabletop. You know, and I just did something that I wanted to take and talk about a little bit. First off, let's get into tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. I bring the tops of my feet flat down onto the mat. But the breathing in and breathing out, I try to focus on breathing through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. But you know, it's allergy season. And sometimes I'm breathing through my mouth. And you know what? This is my yoga, my way. It's okay to breathe through your mouth in my yoga. Just like it's okay to do whatever, breathe however you feel you need to in your yoga. So we're going to inhale, pull our head, feel our head pulled to the far side of the room. Exhale, look over that right shoulder at the right pinky toe. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look over the left shoulder to the left pinky toe. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look at that right pinky toe one more time. Inhale back to center. And exhale, look at that left pinky toe one more time. Inhale back to center. Now we're going to take and move into bird dog pose, extending the left leg back, tucking the toes, taking this opportunity to bounce maybe a little bit to begin to stretch out that Achilles and that hamstring. Shifting the weight into the left hand, extending the right hand out, shifting the gaze forward, pulling the belly button in towards the core, and lifting that back leg up. And while we're in this pose, we notice those little tremors, those little shakes, maybe in our forearms, maybe in our shoulders, maybe in our back leg. Exhale, come back down and extend the right leg back, tucking the toes, bouncing a little bit to begin to stretch out that hamstring and that Achilles, shifting the weight into the right hand, extending the left hand out, pulling the belly button in and lifting that back leg. Again, noticing those little trembles, noticing those little shakes before moving back down into tabletop. Now we're going to begin to get ready for our first down dog of the evening. I do that by tucking my toes, bring my heels up, bringing my sit bones back towards my heels, and then I think of it as unfolding my legs. And again, it doesn't matter how you get there. What we're looking for is to get that inversion, bringing our heart above our head. So we push back and up, bring our head down between our biceps, sit bones towards the air. Maybe your knees are still bent like mine are. That's okay. This isn't about perfection. This is about practice. This is all about connecting your mind and your body together and welcoming conscious movement into your life. Inhale, look forward, slowly walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, pull the hands down to heart center. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, stepping back into high plank. Knowing it's always okay to bring your knees down because, again, this is your choice, your yoga, your way. Lower down, we'll push up. Wow, I hurt tonight. Turn the feet over. Bring the tops of the feet into contact with the mat. Pushing up into upward dog. Tucking the toes. Pushing back into downward dog. Maybe realizing that your tendons are beginning to stretch out. Your knees aren't bent quite as much. And you're feeling that inversion of your heart not having to work as hard to supply blood to your brain. This is where we begin the next practice of trying to shift our internal conversations to the positive rather than the negative. I am worthy. I am likable. I am me. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands, rising up. Bring the back foot across the back of the mat, rising up with the front knee bent over the front ankle into warrior two. Arms extended, gaze out over that front hand, knee slightly bent, back leg straight with the back foot across the back of the mat. We're going to move into warrior two we're going to reverse our warrior by first turning that front hand over. And we're going to take in, allow that front hand to come up towards the ceiling as we reach that back hand down the back side, the inside of the back leg. Feeling that stretch and that release on the inner thigh of the back leg. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Exhale, we're going to extend the front. We're going to extend the front leg, shift the pelvis back, and then allow ourselves to fall over that front leg, extending that back hand up towards the ceiling. Running the front hand down the inside of the front leg. Feeling that release begin to take place on the inside of that front thigh. Inhale back up to warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down, step back, and push right back into downward dog. Continuing practicing that internal conversation. I am strong. I may be stiff today, but I am doing yoga today. I am taking care of me. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands. You notice I'm pretty awkward and klutzy on this side. That's okay. We rise up, bring that back foot back across the back of the mat. Front knee over the front ankle. Back leg straight. Rising up into warrior two on the other side. Hello, Carol. Good to see you. Taking a second to notice, where are my shoulders at? Are they back here behind my pelvis, stuck in the past? Is it out here, leaning forward, yearning for the future? Or is it centered right over my pelvis, my hips, right here, right now, in the present? Again, we're going to reverse that warrior, turning that front hand over, reaching it up towards the ceiling, running that back hand down the back side of the legs, feeling the extension, feeling the release begin to happen on that inner thigh of the back leg before rising back up into warrior two, straightening the front leg, shifting the pelvis back, and allowing yourself to fall over that front leg. Feeling now that stretch in the inner thigh of the front leg, releasing more of that tension before rising back up into warrior two, windmilling the hands down, stepping back and pushing right back into downward dog. Continuing that internal conversation. I am right where I'm supposed to be. I am a good person. I am likable. Inhale, look forward. Hop walker, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Now we're going to take and bring the hands up to the crease in the thighs. Straighten the front legs. And then, keeping the head bowed forward, we're going to take and slowly rise up, inhaling the whole way, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Rising slowly, 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 slowly. Rotating the shoulders back, opening the heart up, opening the eyes, and feeling a little bit more of the garbage you piled on yourself slide off the back of your shoulders. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. High plank. Let's see if I can do this a little better this time. Lower down, low push up. Yeah, that'll still hurt. Turn the feet over, pushing up into upward dog, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward dog. I am stronger than I ever thought I would have to be. I am practicing yoga. I am okay. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands, dropping the back knee, coming up into a low lunge with the shoulders back, chin slightly tucked. Knowing it's okay to come into a kneeling pose. Or if your knees are bothering you tonight, bringing the sit bones back to the heels, taking all of the pressure off the knees, coming into a hero's pose. Before reaching up over the head, and when you shift the gaze up between the hands, you see a beautiful balloon in your favorite color. And on that balloon, you're going to write down all of the things that family, friends, maybe even frenemies and enemies, have been telling you about why you can't move forward. Tell all of the crap that people have piled on you that no longer serves you. All of the garbage that isn't yours, it's somebody else's. You're putting it all over that balloon, lifting it up, 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 and releasing it. And as you watch it float higher and higher and higher, you feel it taking with it, like a big giant garbage truck, all of that crap, all of that stuff that you don't need anymore. Inhale, bring the hands back overhead. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, pushing right back into downward dog. Continuing that internal conversation. I am lighter. I am freer. I am me. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Exhale, swing it forward between the hands, coming into a low lunge on the other side. Again, knowing it's okay to come into kneeling pose or hero's pose. Shoulders squared up, chin slightly tucked, reaching up over your head. This time as you shift your gaze up, there's a little brown paper bag with a flickering candle in the bottom of it. A beautiful little sky lantern. And this time, you're putting into that little gondola holding that candle all of the gratitude, all of the love, all of the words you wish you could express to all of those people that are always there to support you, but you don't know how. You're putting all of that into that little sky lantern, and you're lifting it up, 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 and releasing it. And you're watching it float up and be caught by the breeze. And somehow, some way, you just know that that little lantern is taking all of those words, feelings, and emotions, and most of all, gratitude, just exactly to who needs to hear it today. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into downward dog. Continuing that little conversation. I am okay. I am important. And I am worthy. And now as we inhale and look forward, we're going to step through into an easy seated position. We're going to take in right away, bring the bottoms of our feet together. We're going to begin by opening up our hips to release a little bit more of that anxiety, a little bit of that strain. Hello, Rachel. A little bit of that stuff that we hoard and stash down inside because we, for some reason, we just can't get ourselves to let go of it. And where do we store that? So often we store it in our hips and our lower back. So bringing the bottom of our feet together, feeling our head gently pulled up towards the ceiling, shoulders square, back straight. Allow yourself to hinge at the hips, keeping the back as straight as possible, but not obsessing, because again, this is your yoga, your way. Allow yourself to hinge forward, bringing your heart down over your feet. Feeling it, opening up those hip joints, allowing that anxiety, that stress, that pressure to just flow out of those joints. Inhale, feel your head pulled a little farther. Exhale, sink down a bit more. Now feeling those tendons in your lower back being stretched out to where they have no choice but to let go of that tension you've been holding back there for Lord who knows how long. Inhale, slowly rise up. We're going to move into the first of 3 boat poses. Keeping your feet on the mat, bringing your knees up. It's okay to hold on behind your knees. It's okay to lean back on your hands. Again, whatever works for you. As we come into this pose, again, we're going to look for those trembles and those shakes, and we're going to think about them. Pulling the belly button in towards the spine to engage the core. Slowly lift 1, maybe both feet. It's okay to keep 1 or both feet on the mat if that works for you. It's okay to lean back on your hands. It's okay to open your arms up and feel that tremble, feel that shake. Embrace that tremble, embrace that shake. Right ankle over left. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, set it down and come right back into our second of 3 boat poses. And this time, we begin to realize that that tremble and that shake is a result of our mind and our body working together to chase fear away. Left ankle over right. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, come into our third and final boat pose. Feeling again that tremble, that shake, and this time actively helping it chase that fear of failure away, leaving you freer and lighter. Right ankle over left. Deflate, deflate. Inhale, lift the seat. Exhale, set it back down. And then we're going to take and roll over our feet. We're moving into, however you want to get there, into a plank pose. That's with the hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide, legs extended back. It's okay to bring the knees down. Feeling your shoulders supporting you. It's almost like you're holding the ground down before we allow the heels to fall over to the right and extending up into a plank pose, side plank on the right side. Again, noticing the tremble, noticing the shake. Coming back down to plank, allowing the heels to fall over, extending up on the other side. And again, embracing the tremble, embracing the shake, knowing it's your mind and body taking control, working together. Come back down into plank, lowering down into a forearm plank, bringing your knees down, your thighs down, your belly, separating your arms, bringing one ear to the mat, allowing your feet to flop over and bring the tops of your feet into contact with the earth. And as we're lying here, feeling our breath lift us up and then slowly lower us back down. I want you to begin to notice your heart beating, feeling it thump, thump, thump against the mat. Maybe it's the first time you've noticed your heart beating today. Maybe the first time this week. Thinking about that heart beating and coming to the realization that that heart beats out nothing but pure love for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Bringing the head up and bringing the other ear down to the mat. Feeling that love fill you to the point where it begins to radiate outward in concentric circles. First, embracing your household and everyone and everything in it. Slowly expanding to embrace your neighborhood. And maybe even flowing out and spreading that pure, unadulterated love for your whole community. Bringing the hands down on either side of the chest. Shifting the gaze back to the center and pushing yourself up into tabletop. Just long enough to bring your big toes together, knees to the outside edge of the mat. Sit bones back towards the heels. We're going to go into child's pose. Typically, that's bringing your forehead to your mat. That's not in all of our practices. For me, again, this is my yoga my way. You do your yoga your way. I like to build my own personal little pillar. I stack one fist down, stack the other fist on top, bring the elbows down into the mat, and I bring the center of my forehead, that magical third eye, the think center, that conduit to the pineal gland, into contact with my personal column. Knowing that that subtle pressure sends a signal through the pineal gland that you're safe. And it's okay for your body to begin to slow down. And as we're feeling ourselves begin to slow down and release more of the baggage we've held on to, you begin to feel and see a whirlpool flowing around and around your think center, picking up the last pieces of that garbage, of that baggage that has been heaped on you by yourself or others. And you see it flowing down like a whirlpool down a bathtub drain, flowing through your hollow column, down into the earth, and being absorbed and swept away, leaving you lighter, freer, and more at ease. Keeping your eyes closed and your head tucked again. We're going to separate the hands, bringing the hands into contact with the mat, and slowly walking them back towards your body, pushing yourself up slowly, 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 keeping the eyes closed before rolling the shoulders back. Bring the gaze up, blinking the eyes open, and feeling the last of that weight just slide off and roll away. Now we're going to move into our final pose of the evening. Shavasana, or guided meditation. Typically, it's done lying on your back, but if you feel like laying on your belly, that's fine. If you feel like laying on your side and cradling yourself in a fetal position, that's just fine too. Or you can join me bringing your shoulder blades firmly into contact with the mat, keeping your knees up for a little bit, feet on the mat, feeling that connection of the lower back with the mat, feeling yourself begin to sink into the mat before allowing first your right leg, then your left leg to extend out, feet about a foot apart, and allow your feet to splay open, which reduces the stress and the pressure on your hip joints. Allow your arms to just fall naturally either out to the side or along the side. Palms can be up, palms can be down. Feeling your head sinking into the mat, allowing your gaze to soften, maybe allowing those eyes to flutter close, and just feeling yourself just releasing and sinking. Feeling your eyebrows begin to separate, your forehead smoothing out, your eyes sinking deeper into their sockets, your jaw relaxing, lips still slightly together, tongue resting heavily against the back of your teeth. The palms of your hands begin to tingle as they just let go of everything that they've been holding on to. You feel your hips more released and free than they've been all day long. And as you're lying here in this state of ease, you feel light beginning to flow in to the top of your head. And as that light flows in, it illuminates all of the corners, all of the nooks, all of the crannies, flowing down through your sinuses, flowing down through your throat, leaving you totally illuminated, leaving you light, leaving you free. That light continues to flow down, filling up your chest, flowing down and filling up your arms, flowing into your hands, causing them to tickle and tingle slightly. As that light continues to flow in, it pushes down through your belly, through your pelvis, and ultimately it fills you completely, pushing out through the bottom of your feet any of that leftover crap that you no longer need. And as we're lying here in this state of ease, I want you to hear the words I say and say them internally to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be secure. May my family be happy. May my family be healthy. May my family be secure. May my community be happy. May my community be healthy. May my community be secure. May the whole world find happiness, security, and health. As we begin to climb back into conscious movement, I invite you to begin wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, rotating your wrists and your ankles, pulling your hands into your chest before extending your hands up towards the ceiling, spreading your fingers, wiggling those fingers, pulling your knees into your chest, wrapping yourself in a well-earned hug, rocking gently from side to side to massage that lower back that released all of that junk you didn't need anymore, giving it a gentle little thank you before rolling over onto your favorite side into a fetal position, pillowing your head on your lower bicep, bringing your upper hand down to feel one more time that stability and security offered by the ground. Keeping the eyes closed to hold on to this feeling of ease that you have gifted yourself. Use your upper hand to push yourself slowly up into a seated position. Again, whatever position works for you. You can leave your hands resting gently on your thighs, or I invite you to join me, bringing your hands together at heart center. Thumb pressed gently into the sternum, allowing the head to bow down to the ultimate ruler. I ask you one last time to listen to these words and know them to be as true about you as they are about me. I am whole. I am worthy of giving and receiving love. I am complete. This beautiful light that shines within my heart sees, recognizes, and acknowledges that same light within the heart of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you all. I wasn't sure I was going to make it through practice tonight. I was a little clinky, a little cranky, a little bit locked up, but I sure appreciate you all joining me this evening. Hello, Erica and Rachel. I'm so glad to see you this evening. And you all have a great evening. And Karen, yes, you're awesome. And oh, there's little Miss Laura. Thank you all. Donna, you're awesome. Have a great evening. Hopefully, I'll see you all tomorrow.